field. Today we have a special guest here and a potential co-host down the road. Currently a college student just like me and is currently studying film and animation. My pleasure to introduce to you guys my friend JJ Lang. Say hi to the people.
Hello, everybody. Pleasure to be here.
Tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
So, much like Zach, I'm a big baseball and football fan. Love the Yankees. Love my formerly Oakland, now currently Las Vegas Raiders. Can't stand the Red Sox. Sorry. I also run my own podcast. My friend Hunter and I run one called the Nerds for Hire podcast. You can check us out on YouTube. Episodes are bi-weekly. A lot of just general nerd talk, movie stuff, TV, comic book, games, whatever. Our next episode is going to be coming up Friday, so if you're interested, come tune in.
All right, today's topic is going to be a little bit different from previous episodes. We've been doing football for the first two, and I haven't uploaded in a while, and I do apologize for that. Life gets in the way sometimes. Instead of talking about predictions and stat lines, we're going to talk a little bit on Major League Baseball and the Trashcan Fiasco going on with the Houston Ashtrays organization. So, without further ado, let's jump right into it. All right, so a little bit of a timeline. We're going to start back in 2017, a little flash from the past. And if I miss anything, JJ, just be sure to just jump right in and let me know.
Gotcha.
I did a ton of research, so I should have everything here.
Oh, so I can vouch for that. He did a ton of research.
2017, start of the season, Video Replay Room stole signs from live game feed and shared the information with Alex Cora. That's when Carlos Beltran proposed the idea that the team should decode signs that communicate those to the batter. Cora decided to get a TV that showed the center field view of the batter and set it up in the dugout hallway. They created a communication system using trash cans, as everybody knows, and they cheat the whole postseason and won the pennant. Go to 2018, not a ton on the Astros, but Boston, claiming Alex Cora as their new manager. They make a run and also win a World Series. So Cora wins 2 in a row. A little sketchy there. Not going to lie, and that brings us to now, 2019. November 12th was when the whole thing started. Mike Fiers came out and said that when he pitched for the Astros in 2017, they were stealing signs, which helped lead them to a championship. Also on November 12th, Alex Cora and Carlos Beltran were alleged as the main driving forces. November 14th, MLB opened the investigation. January 7th, Red Sox and Alex Cora busted for the 2018 season. On January 13th, AJ Hinch and GM Jeff Leno, am I pronouncing that right?
Sounds right.
They were fired by owner Jim Crane just after getting suspended for a year by the MLB. January 14th, Red Sox and Alex Cora, quote-unquote, part ways. And on January 16th, the Mets and Carlos Beltran, quote-unquote, part ways. So that is the timeline. Did I miss anything major?
The one thing that I saw was this was shortly after Beltran's release. It looked as though Brian McCann came out and publicly stated that he was always opposed to the Astros cheating scandal. He never wanted to be a part of it, but he very much felt as though if he tried to oppose it in any way, they were going to send him to the minors or just flat bench him, and he was never going to play.
That's
so
right.
His only option was either I'm going to just play and participate in this cheating scandal, or never play baseball the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So he just kind of kept quiet.
No, definitely. That was a major part that definitely helped the discussion of whether or not the Astros were like actually doing it. I think that. Hang on, just 1 second. I forgot to start the gameplay in the background.
What teams are you having do in this game sim? Is it the Yankees and the Astros?
It's the Yankees versus the Astros, and it's in Houston.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
This sounds too loud though. Hang on, I do apologize.
That's right. Where Jose Altuve to show his buzzer off to everybody.
Yeah, didn't want to rip off that shirt.
We'll get to that at some point.
Yeah, we definitely will. It's in the script. Don't you worry. But no. But yeah, the whole Brian McCann thing, though, going back to that, I think that point for me was like, wow, this is actually for real. Like the fact that someone is credited as Brian McCann, I mean, he's a potential like Hall of Famer. Like he played catcher very well for a few years. I know his time best well spent, known with like the Braves, but he played for the Yankees for a little while. I mean, would you agree with that in terms of his credibility?
I would agree with that. I think
He was always a
Brian
locker room
McKinnon,
guy.
he was a very big presence in the locker room, and if he was against that and the rest of the team wanted in,
Veteran
then
too, yeah.
that just goes to show you the level of scum and just overall just inappropriate behavior that the Astros were going to tolerate. Because I mean, usually you look to your veteran locker room presence for guidance and
Oh yeah, absolutely.
like game strategy, and if they're going to just throw him out the window because he doesn't want to cheat, then that's pretty bad.
No, it is pretty bad, especially when that information came out. So, other forms of the evidence, obviously the trash cans, those were found, right? That was like an actual.
Yeah,
or
they're in
alleged.
the freaking Astros championship video from 2017. You can see them set up in the dugout.
That's. I just want to be sure. I don't want to talk out of my ass in any of this. Because there's a lot of
put
information.
it up on YouTube.
I know. So we got the trash cans and the video cameras in center field, which obviously tied to the trash cans. Being able to see the signs that the catcher was giving out. Also, electronic buzzers. This was for 2019, disregarding 2017, which I feel like a lot of people are strictly looking at 2017 when they won the championship, but not. I feel like this was still going on this whole time period. Like it's been going on for 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
And this past year, it was the buzzers that were seen on Altuve and Reddick that they still have not found to be true, but there is tiny evidence based on whether or not it's valid or not is a different story. Any comments on that bit of information, or?
I think the reason why everybody is really looking at 2017 more than anything is because they won the title.
Yeah.
They won the title,
Absolutely.
and that clearly went into. It was a factor as to why they won. I think 2019 and 2018 don't matter as much because they obviously didn't win. But the buzzer thing, the MLB has no evidence of it, but some newer information is indicating that they were disguising the buzzers as like electrical pads, like those special kind of like medical tape that has those electrical pulse things in it. They disguised them as that, and that's why the MLB
video
never run
on Gurriel the other day. I think it was Gurriel at least, of like this like tape sort of thing.
Yep,
that he
you
was
can
messing with
see
that
it
he
through his
dropped.
shirt.
Yeah. In that, so we saw the buzzer on Reddick in that interview, the tape that you could see through his shirt, that went across his chest there. Then of course on Altuve it was that little tiny little bump. But the don't you dare rip off my shirt thing, that screams out to me.
That
more
was
than
just
anything.
weird when it happened. Like, why are you saying to not do that? Like, who
Oh
cares?
yeah, no, exactly. Like in a moment like that. And it's like Altuve's had his shirt ripped off in the past. Like, why, after sending your team to the World Series, a walk-off home run off of Aroldis Chapman, like, don't rip off my shirt, let me go to the dugout and change real quick, and then let me do an interview.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot. That's very sketchy. That is very, very sketchy.
That doesn't have your spider senses going absolutely insane. I don't know what is.
Plug the podcast again, why don't you?
Oh, no, just a common expression. Like, if something sketchy's going down, like, you can tell.
No, definitely. The Spidey senses definitely were going off with that. That is one of the biggest pieces of information that I think... How do I say it? I don't know. I feel like it really makes a point with this whole thing. Especially with 2019. The don't rip off my shirt kind of thing. I don't know. That's the one that gets me the hardest. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was where, because 2017, like, there was really no obvious signs of, hey, we're doing something screwy. But 2019, after when Altuve does that, and it's just...
Yeah. I mean,
you
it's
kind of get a little
disregarded.
bit like, it was totally disregarded at the time because it was like Altuve just hit an absolute friggin' monster dinger off of Chapman, who's that's pretty hard to do.
It was 430 plus, by the way. I mean, this wasn't just a this
Oh
wasn't
no, it
just
wasn't
like
just
a
some skimpy little thing.
wall scraper. Yeah.
He hit an absolute bomb off of Aroldis Chapman, who is easily one of, if not the best closer in baseball at the moment.
Oh yeah.
And that's no easy task to take one of his pitches and put it in the porch. So
No, absolutely not. Next piece of information was the success at home versus away struggles. In 2017, the series specifically between the Yankees and the Astros, the Yankees mopped the floor with the Astros when they went back to New York. But then when they went back to Houston, it was like these 1-0, 2-1 games, and Houston won in 7.
yeah, it was.
So
it
I mean,
go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
I was gonna say it just goes to show. I mean, they have their permanent setup in Houston.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
they're obviously going to have an advantage at home because they have all their stuff set up there, and it's harder for a team like that to transfer your video equipment and set it up because especially with the Yankees because
you can't.
Monument Park, you can't put a camera there without someone from the Yankees staff realizing what you're up to.
It almost reminds me of like that guy from the Longest Yard, the guy that locked caretaker in the cell, like that little
God,
Weasley
yes.
guy. I wonder if Houston had anybody like that, like over the course of these 3 seasons, that helped them during away games. Like you would never know.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The games in New York, the Yankees won by more than 2 every time. Correct? At least
I believe
more than
so.
2.
I believe so. Back in 2017.
Because it wasn't like they were just barely beating them. It was like, no, we were just absolutely pulverizing them.
No, I know.
Because if my memory serves me correct, it was we lost the first 2 in Houston, won the 3 in New York, went back to Houston, and then lost the rest.
Here, I'm looking this up on Baseball Reference. Houston won the first 2 games 2-1.
Yep.
We went back to New York. Yankees Game 3 won 8-1,
Yeah, there you go.
6-4, and 5-0. Went back to Houston, lost 7-1, and then lost 4-0. Especially that
ridiculous.
Game 3, 8-1.
Oh, yeah.
That's insane. Not to mention this year in 2019 too. I mean, also, you know.
Well, this series didn't even go to it went to Game 6. Didn't even go to Game 7.
No, definitely. I'm looking up the 2019 ALCS too. I don't want to just include the Yankees, but it makes a lot of sense for me too.
Well, I think talking about the 2018 series of Houston against the Red Sox is pertinent also, because that's another one where it's, I'll let you go into yourself about 2019, and then we'll backtrack back if that's cool.
Yo, definitely. So Game 1 and Game 2 were in Houston, right?
Yep.
Yankees won 7-0, and the Astros won 3-2. So the series was tied 1-1. Wait, no, this can't be right. Wait, no, this is right.
It is right. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, because we smoked them the first game.
Yeah, okay. Alright. For some reason, I thought we went up 2-0.
No, it was 1-1. Because then we went back to New York and lost a couple there against them.
Yeah, we went back to New York, lost 4-1, then lost 8-3. But then we won 4-1, and then we lost 6-4.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll go back to 2018.
So I kind of have an idea as to why Houston didn't go as far in 2018 as they did in 17 and 19. I think there's a reason for that.
The fact that the Red Sox had home field advantage?
I'm not that. I think the reason they got beat by Boston was because Cora knew everything they were doing because Cora helped set it all up. So I think Cora knew how to cheat against the Astros and also how to get around, he knows how that team cheats because he helped them set it up. So he's the ultimate guy to be able to know how to get around their system so they can't cheat off of him. So that's
No, absolutely. I 100% agree. My mic just disconnected, by the way.
you're fine.
So I think we should move on, though.
I
There's
think that's a
still a
good
lot
idea.
of information to talk about. So that was just the success at home versus away. How about the pitiful and fake apologies? Like,
Oh,
they didn't really apologize at all. I mean, at all. Like, they had the press conferences with whoever their owner is, Jim Crane. It was Jim Crane, Altuve, and Bregman. It was the fakest, most scripted thing I've ever seen. Like their apology day.
oh, their owner needs to be gone instantaneously. He should have been out.
I know. No, most definitely. He's kind of ignoring the whole thing and saying like, yeah, we're just moving on. And
Now I do understand. I understand the fact that he probably had absolutely no idea what was going on because from all the information the MLB has, he didn't.
I
But
mean,
the fact that he
that's
just
kind of BS. I feel like the owner would know what's going on.
the fact that he just came out and said it doesn't affect the game at all. Bull.
That's
You won
the
a damn
fact that
World
makes
Series
me.
because of it.
Yeah, that's the fact that makes me believe that he knew. He definitely knew. He wanted money for the organization.
And if I'm an Astros fan, I'm going to be furious. My
Oh,
team wins a.
I feel ridiculous as an Astros fan. I mean, the World Series, I think it's safe to say, is tainted.
That year, definitely.
I think that World Series is tainted 100%, but we'll leave that for later as well.
Yeah.
This was the most recent piece of information that I had on here. Correa, he admitted to cheating. This was during spring training. They interviewed him. He said, yeah, we cheated in 2017. But he really tried to, like, I don't know, kind of like expand the fact that people should stop blaming Altuve, saying that he didn't cheat. Like, he made it a point to say that, but he agreed to everyone else cheating. I thought that was really, like, sus, trying to, like, protect Altuve like that, because...
I don't think it was that. I think it's more everybody is putting 100% of the blame and target on Altuve.
Well, Altuve's the leader of the team. That's what happens.
Yes, but at the same time, I think the point he's trying to make is if you're gonna blame the Astros for cheating, blame the team. Don't single out one guy. Which, if that's the case, great. You've just declared open season on your entire roster, which means they can go on Twitter and blast every one of your players if they want to.
It wasn't that, though. I mean, he was saying that everyone cheated, but Altuve didn't. Not saying the whole team cheated. He said everyone but he said Altuve was the only person that did not cheat.
Yeah, that's crap.
In this interview, and just the fact that Altuve was the only one that didn't, like, he singled out Altuve as being, like, innocent to the whole thing. That's
just single out Brian McCann.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Because he didn't want to.
No, exactly. And he played during the World Series.
Yep.
Or he played during the ALCS, at least I know. I believe he played during the World Series.
I'm pretty sure McCann was a starting catcher in the World Series.
Yeah, I believe so. Like, the whole situation is crazy. The next segment that I have on here is some of the reactions from people. Not even just baseball, but, like, I have LeBron James actually in here. He's the only person that's not involved with baseball on the list. So let's start with Aaron Judge. First, he deleted a tweet that congratulated Altuve for the 2017 MVP. Judge was the runner-up that year. That was his rookie year. Said, I just don't think them winning the 2017 World Series holds any value anymore. Which I thought was pretty big. Giancarlo Stanton said, they are only really sorry because they got caught. And then he went on to say, I would hit 80 home runs if cheating was allowed. Which I thought was pretty freaking funny. Exactly. Give it up for Giancarlo Stanton.
What a legend for saying that.
I know.
Just let me cheat. I'll hit 100 bombs up you. How about that?
This brings us to the GOAT, Mike Trout. It's sad for baseball. It's tough. They cheated. The players aren't being punished, which I agree. They didn't do anything. Players even got, like, immunity. Cody Bellinger said, I thought the apologies were whatever and weak. I think that what a lot of people don't realize is Altuve stole an MVP from Judge in 2017. Everyone knows they stole the ring from us. Us being the Dodgers. Nick Markakis, I feel like every single guy over there needs a beating. It's wrong. Nick Markakis is a real one for that.
Yeah, I think that beating has already begun, seeing as though they've been hit by, 57 pitches already? It's only
they lead
week
spring
2
training.
of spring training.
Yeah. I'm surprised more players haven't gotten ejected. I don't think anyone has, actually.
No one has yet.
I would have.
Because they're making it look like an accident. That's what they're doing. They're being smart about it.
No, they're being very smart. You have to, though. You know, people, they're going to be looking out for that, and players are going to get ejected if it looks remotely on purpose.
I'm going to say this right now. I don't condone, I'm not okay with guys targeting other players on field, no matter what sport it is.
No.
That being said, if you're a pitcher facing the Astros, I will literally Venmo you $1 if you peg Jose Altuve with a pitch. I don't even care. Or anybody on their roster just doesn't even matter. I don't care.
Well, I mean, players lost jobs because the Astros hit those pitchers really hard. Because because of the sign stealing, you know, how would you feel as a pitcher in Major League Baseball, feeling like you could do nothing? You know, because they knew your signs, they knew a pitch was coming.
Oh yeah.
Brings us to Chris Bryant. A lot of the Oh, all right. Well, sorry, I paused because of the simulation. The first trash can fiasco of the video has just happened. It's 1-0 Ashtrays. George Springer just hit a dinger off of Garrett Cole, who I traded to the Yankees.
Oh, that's a bunch of garbage. That would never happen.
Alrighty. Well, the game knows what's up. Let's move on to Chris Bryant. A lot of the apology was about 2017. I'm pretty sure it was going on in 2018 and 2019 too. Yeah. That's just so sad. If they didn't get caught, they'd still be doing it. And I think that's true.
Yes.
I really do.
Agreed.
Steven Strasburg, someday I'm going to... This one's great. Someday I'm going to hopefully have some grandkids and sit down and talk with them about the experience of the World Series and not really feel ashamed of it at all. Boom, roasted. Justin Verlander. All right, Justin Verlander. He was on the team for both of these. He was on the team for the World Series and all the way through 2019. Once they spent more time and understood what was happening, I wish I had said more. I can't go back and reverse my decision. I wish I had said more, and I didn't. That almost seems like a load of bull to me.
Liar.
Someone I don't want to just say that, but Justin Verlander, someone with as much credibility as him, I mean, top 3 pitcher in baseball and has been for a long time. Pretty much the whole time he's been in the majors. For him to say something like that, I don't know, man. It's a little sketchy for me.
And you know what? When Justin Verlander first came into the league, he was really good. He was his face was everywhere. And then at one point when he was still with Detroit, he kind of dipped a little bit. His production went down. He fell off. And when he came back up, he was like, nah, I want the hell out of Detroit. I want to win. He goes to Houston, and then this happens. And I feel like I almost kind of feel a little bad for him just because
I didn't think
you
about
have this
it like
problem.
that.
The guy obviously wanted to win. He wanted to go somewhere where he could win. And he ends up in Houston.
Do you think he still feels like he hasn't gotten his ring? Do you think he feels like it's tainted?
I think he's absolutely fine with the fact that he won a ring.
Well, because he played well.
He played well. He won. The cheating scandal doesn't affect him at all. He wasn't even a part of it. He's a pitcher.
Yeah.
He didn't cheat. He did his job.
He did his job fantastic for the past 3 years.
He's a good pitcher.
Sub-3 ERA, pretty much 200 strikeouts every year.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. The last person on the list. Hang on just one second, then we're going
Yeah, you're
into some discussion questions. LeBron James. I know I don't play baseball, but I am in sports, and I know if someone cheated me out of winning the title, and I found out about it, I would be effing irate. I mean, like, uncontrollable about what I could do. Listen to your players, baseball commissioner. Fix this for the sake of sports. Called out the commissioner, Rob Manfred. LeBron James. LeBron. Stephen A. Smith was proud. I guarantee it. So, discussion time. Let's start with what were some original thoughts going on when we first heard the news.
I kind of want to ask you a question real quick and see what you think about this.
Go for it.
There has been one player who I've been waiting to hear what he has to say, and he has been very silent. I wonder what Manny Machado thinks about this, because Manny Machado was traded to the Dodgers. They were the best team in the NL, and he gets traded there. The Orioles trade him to the Dodgers, and they make it all the way to the World Series. I want to know what Manny Machado thinks about all this.
Well, I mean, I guess unless he says something, you'd never really know. Manny Machado is really...
he's been outspoken in the past.
He has been outspoken, and he hasn't said anything about this, which is weird, but I feel like he has evolved and matured a little bit.
Possibly.
You know, I feel Manny Machado back in the past, he was never one to just sit down and not say anything. He always spoke his mind. Always did. But for something like this, it doesn't... I don't know. It's hard for me because he did not play well in the World Series. He personally did not play well. And it doesn't affect you as a hitter. That's one thing that I'll say about the Yankees. They couldn't hit. They couldn't hit during this season. They couldn't hit in Houston for those games that they lost in 2017. You know, losing 2-1, that has nothing to do with the scandal. If you can't hit. So going on Manny Machado, he almost feels like he failed for that year so bad that this doesn't affect him. That's my stance on it.
I don't think he thinks he fails. I think when you look at young guys playing in any championship, nonetheless, there's stakes involved. It's a big stage. The World Series is a big stage.
One of the biggest.
And I think because they had to play in Houston first.
Yeah.
If I'm correct.
They did.
He was shut down for 2 whole games.
Yeah.
And I think when you go back home, like that's a momentum killer. If you go back home with no momentum, you're going to be flat.
They went to Game 7 for that too.
They did. But I think for a young player like Machado, who had literally never been to the postseason before,
yeah,
there are some stakes there. I think yes, it is some of it on him because he should have performed if they wanted to win. But there's also, Houston cheating didn't help him at all. It wasn't a fair playing field. I almost wonder if the Padres are trying to keep him quiet. Because nobody from the Padres has come out publicly and said a thing.
That is true.
I figured Chase Headley would come out because he was
on the Yankees.
Furious. He was on New York at the time. I'm surprised Chase Headley hasn't said anything yet, too.
Is he still playing? He's still playing, right?
I'm pretty sure. Let me look real quick. I'm pretty sure Chase Headley is still in the league. Because he ended up in the Padres, the year afterwards, because the retired.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, Chase Headley retired.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just...
He's still in the public eye, though, I think.
I think ever since he left the Yankees, people kind of just forgot about him. Unfortunately, because he was a solid player.
For a couple of years. He fell off towards the end. For sure. I don't know, man. That the whole Manny Machado situation is tough because you never really know unless they say something. Because everyone's had somewhat of a different opinion, Everyone said something different. I mean, just like we're giving our opinions, you know?
Absolutely.
So, original thoughts going on when we first heard the news. When you first heard about this whole thing was possible, the whole trash can thing, what was going on inside your head?
Didn't surprise me. Didn't surprise me.
Didn't surprise you even the slightest?
No. Because when Markakis came out and started no, it wasn't Markakis. Who was it?
Fires.
It was Fires.
Yeah.
When Fires came out and started talking about it, I'm like, really? Like, interesting.
So, well, that's surprising, though. I mean, that moment right there.
Oh, you made that moment.
When
I guess
the
I was a
news
little
first
surprised
hit.
then.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, wow, that's, like, really?
Is this real? I was thinking, is this real? Did this actually yeah.
I was almost
because
kind
he
of
wasn't even on the team anymore.
They cut him, didn't they?
I believe they cut him the following season.
Okay. Because I was going to say, like, if
he's on the Athletics now.
Yeah, he plays for the A's.
He went to Detroit, I know. I know that for a fact. He went to Detroit because Stanton hit a home run off of him. I think it was last year.
Yeah, he did.
It was
he blasted one off.
That's the only reason I know. 2018 he spent with two teams. It was Detroit, and then he went to Oakland like mid-season, and all of last year was with Oakland.
Did he spend all of 2017 with the Astros, though?
Yes. Yes, he did.
Okay. Because my thinking, I didn't remember if he was with Houston the whole time. My original thought was, okay, this is either one of two possibilities. A, the Astros got rid of him before they went to the World Series, and he's just mad that he didn't win a ring, and he's going to try and take it out by making up some BS story. Or, no, he's telling the truth, and he's trying to make sure they can't get away with this because they've been making it pretty deep into the postseason every year.
Well, I mean, like we've been saying, like it does not affect the pitchers at all.
No, it doesn't.
They didn't do anything. They don't have a decision in all this. They don't gain anything from it.
Well, I wouldn't say they don't gain anything.
That's true. They did get a ring.
I think you can also look at the McCann situation and probably go, it was most likely a blanket statement from Cora and Beltran and AJ Hinch of, hey, this is what we're doing. If you're not cool with it, you're gonna sit. You're done.
Absolutely.
And don't even try saying anything, or you're gonna say you're getting sent to the minors. I bet some guys that were not okay with it were probably threatened by a loss of job or demotion. I wouldn't be surprised if that actually happened because know
there is an example of that. Some minor league kid came up. I cannot remember who it was. Some minor league kid came up to the Astros towards the end of the year. You know how like with baseball, like they call up players towards the end when the rosters expand.
Yeah.
They called up some kid. They basically said, "Look, here's the deal. We use these trash cans." He said, "I don't want any part of this," and they sent him right down. They basically did not include him.
Because he was up for like what, a game?
Something like that. I cannot remember who it was.
I remember hearing that because there was some ESPN story on it. Like they brought him up for a game. I was watching highlights and like he got hurt or something, and they sent him back down to the mound, or he just didn't play well and they bumped him back down.
Yeah, I'm like exactly
why?
Sure.
It was something like that. I want to say.
I do want to look this up because I do want to get the guy's name. Yeah, there's gonna be no way that I find it right now. Yeah,
I think if you ask me, the team that is taking as big a hit as Houston did, let's see what you think about this also. If not a bigger hit, is Boston.
Boston is
because
they're falling apart.
They're totally effed. Like I don't want to say that word because I don't know what you want on your show. They're totally effed.
Absolutely. Everyone found out that they cheated, and their ring is tainted. They lost their best player. They lost
personally to me
second best pitcher.
I think the reason why Betts kept telling them, because they kept trying to give Betts contract extensions after during 2018 and 2019, and he kept telling them, no, I don't want this. And then they traded him. I almost wonder if he was like, I'm disgusted by the fact that any of you could consider cheating in this way at all. Get me the hell out of here. Send me somewhere else. Because
if
if anybody doesn't know, Mookie Betts is a multi-sport athlete. Believe it or not, he is a member of the PBA. He's a pro bowler. He used to tour with the PBA and the pro circuit. Dude is a hell of a bowler. The year they won the World Series, 2018, the ring ceremony they had at Fenway Park, he was given 2 rings, his World Series ring and his PBA Tour Championship ring, because he won the circuit that year. So I think for him, he's a very competitive person. He wants to win the right way. I think Betts wanted out of there and very quietly told the Red Sox, "You're going to get rid of me, and you're going to send me somewhere where I don't have to deal with this crap anymore."
I disagree, and I have stats with it.
Okay.
So 2017, let's talk about. Obviously, that's the year that the Astros won. But let's talk about Mookie. But when do you think you first started hearing about Mookie Betts and like how good of a player he was? It's like 2016, right?
Yeah, I mean he had come around. What he came into league 2015,
2014. He came
2014.
Up.
I saw of him in 2015, and there was talk of like, oh, he's this great player, but like he was kind of just average, like poking at being good at the time.
2016, he was the MVP runner-up. Mm-hmm. He hit .318 batting average, 31 home runs, 113 RBIs. Incredible season. It really was an incredible season.
He's a good player.
Oh, yeah. Going to 2017, the year afterwards, played just as many games, so the stats don't go down because of that. He hit .264 with just 24 home runs, had 102 RBIs, but .264. His average went down, what is that, 54 points? After an MVP caliber season, your batting average goes down 54 points. Who became the manager for 2018 for the Red Sox?
Alex Cora.
Mookie Betts' stats in 2018 went up to .346 as a batting average. Almost 100 points higher than the previous year.
Yeah.
That, to me, is a little sus about Mookie Betts in particular.
And he fell off in 2019, too.
And he did fall off in 2019 as well. I mean, under 300 batting average. I like to bring up batting average. I don't know. I just feel as though it's relevant when you're looking at a player like that.
Let's take a look at JD Martinez.
JD Martinez, too. Yeah,
that
absolutely.
Man was a washed-up scrub before he got to Boston. And then he gets there and he turns into the freaking Hulk and was hitting everything out of the park.
Oh, he was done.
He definitely benefited from that a ton.
He came in 2011 for Houston.
Yeah.
He was drafted by Houston. All right.
What a surprise.
He was traded mid-year. Oh, he played for 3 teams in 2017. That's right. No. He went from Detroit to Arizona in 2017. Went to Boston in 2018. And he basically hit .330 with 43 home runs and 130 RBIs, led the league. He was a monster.
Yeah, what were his stats in 2017 and 2016? That's my question.
2016, he hit .307, 22 home runs, 68 RBIs.
Yeah, so his batting average pretty much went up 20 points.
But he only played 120 games. He missed quite a few games.
True.
2017, he missed just about the same amount of games. Hit about 300 still, but he hit 45 home runs, 104 RBIs. So he hadn't fallen off, I would say. I don't think I would say he fell off, but he wasn't the player that he was in Boston.
No. He was like middle of the pack, teetering on level, like a higher tier player. But he had to hit higher tier. He gets to Boston and he turned into a beast.
Oh yeah. Last year he wasn't bad either. Hit just over 300, 36 home runs, 105 RBIs. But Boston was not good last year.
Oh, they were trash.
Boston
and they're even worse
was not
now.
good. Yeah. Oh, Boston is not in a good spot. I predict them finishing. Honestly, I have them finishing fourth in the AL East. I really do, which might be a little bold, but I'll say it like this: Yankees are obviously going to win the division.
Oh, I would say that for certainty.
The Rays are going to play second.
Yep.
I think that Toronto's going to sneak in for third place. And I'm only going to say it like this: they picked up Hyunjin Ryu, who was one of the best
really
pitchers.
Good.
He was one of the best pitchers in the league last year, if not the best.
I don't know why the Dodgers let him go.
Wait, did he win the NL MVP? No, or the Cy Young. I don't think he did. Who won the Cy Young? Was it DeGrom again?
It was DeGrom again.
Freaking DeGrom.
That man needs to get the hell out of the Mets. He needs to leave the Mets because he's going to end up rotting there for the rest of his damn career.
Oh, I know. Yeah, Hyunjin Ryu was good. They have a lot of young pieces. They have a team of like baseball family members. Vlad Guerrero's son. Let's see here.
Oh.
Craig Biggio's son. Dante Bichette's son. Yuli Gurriel's brother. They have a bunch of players like that. And they're all really good. They have a lot of good young talent on that Toronto team. And I hate to say that because they're division rivals, but I think that they might be able to sneak past the Red Sox, depending on how they do. I don't know how the Red Sox are going to be because they struggled last year.
But you still have the Orioles below them.
Oh, the Orioles they're a lost cause at this point. They're top 3, like, worst team in baseball. I think we can both agree on that.
I'm going to go even bolder than you. I'm going to think...
You think the Red Sox are going to finish last?
Yes.
Damn.
Because they are an absolute garbage fire right now. Their manager was brought in not literally 2 days before spring training started. You lose Betts. You lose David Price 2 weeks before spring training starts. Chris Sale is pretty much the human equivalent of Mr. Potato Head at this point. They're trying to put him back together every year. I mean, they still think Dustin Pedroia is the next Derek Jeter for some damn reason. It's like, is he still on that team? He better not be.
Weren't they talking about him managing the team?
Oh my god!
I think he's in
management. Is
management.
he still a player? I swear to God.
I gotta look this up now.
I literally every year start with spring training of, all right, people, how long is it going to take for Dustin Pedroia to break? Like, when is he going to get hurt and be out the rest of the year?
Dustin Luis Pedroia is an American baseball second baseman for the Boston Red Sox.
Oh my god!
He had 20 at-bats last year.
He's still active. That's the thing, though, is like they're clinging to Dustin Pedroia. They're going to put him at second base no matter what happens.
He's back on the IL. There's no way he's ever going to come back. Yeah. He didn't even play.
The season hasn't even started yet.
He sat the wrong way on the couch. That's what happened.
Somebody dropped a feather on his toe and it broke. I mean, like, that's Boston's problem. They're clinging to Dustin Pedroia when they just get rid of him. Look at the Yankees. Like, I know we always talk about the Yankees, but you and I are big Yankee fans. Like, look at the Yankees with Ellsbury. They benched his butt. The second they could get rid of him, he was gone.
Oh yeah.
The problem with Pedroia is they just keep bringing him back, and it's like, dude.
Well, he's a household name. He's their Jeter. He's their Jeter.
I don't think
to them, he's Jeter.
I think to everybody else, their Derek Jeter is David Ortiz.
Well, I mean,
David Ortiz is that is their big name.
Yeah, I would agree.
Pedroia, I think, was just along for the ride. But
we're talking about the Red Sox too much.
Well, they were involved in the cheating scandal, but I honestly gotta think that they're going to be. I don't think they're going to have their team really assembled until shortly before the All-Star break. And by then, I think the Orioles might have actually gotten their shit together to some point to where they might have actually hopped them. And I think by that point, it might be too late.
I don't know, man. The Orioles are pretty freaking bad, and they haven't added anybody in the offseason.
But Boston lost people, too.
Yeah, but Boston They have too much talent to be the worst team in their division. They still have Sale. They still have Martinez. They still have Bogarts. They still have Benintendi.
True.
It's just losing Betts is so huge, and losing their manager and losing Price.
Betts was the heart and soul of your team.
All this stuff going on. I think it's more demoralizing than anything. But I think that they are on a downfall. I think they are on a downfall.
They got the wind kicked out of them. That's what happened.
I just don't think that they're bad enough to be worse than the Orioles. Because the Orioles...
It could be.
The Orioles last year were 54 and 108.
Ooh,
they lost 108 games last year. Last year, the Red Sox were 84 and 78. And the Blue Jays were 67 and 95.
I think the Blue Jays are going to be a lot better this year.
I could totally see them doing a lot better.
I think what's sad to me in all this is there was going to be this... Everyone's talking about this new rivalry of Judge versus Betts, Yankees versus Red Sox, and now Betts is gone.
Yeah.
And it's like this huge monument because
they don't have a Judge.
It was Jeter and Ortiz, and it was like Batman and Superman fighting each other every friggin' week, and people tuned in. They were filled to the brim. You're still going to fill the stadiums for Yankees Red Sox games, but the problem now is there's no identifiable anchor Red Sox face to go, boom, this is our guy that's going to take on Judge. Yeah, but even then, he's just a DH.
Yeah.
He's a glorified DH.
Definitely.
What do you think about Houston's new manager, Dusty Baker?
I think it's a cap. I think it's a cap move.
What's his name?
Dusty Baker?
Dusty Baker.
Wasn't he a former?
I do believe so, yes.
I mean...
He's an older gentleman, though.
I have no clue who this guy is. I have nothing on him. I legit have no information on this Dusty Baker guy, so honestly, I don't know. I don't think it was a good move for the Astros. And it almost is a little sketchy. Because I don't think anybody knows much on this guy.
Well, Dusty Baker's been around baseball for a while. I don't personally know a ton about him, but I know like his name. I recognize. Like he's been around the game for a while. He hasn't done anything as of recent.
That's what I mean.
I think they just needed somebody quickly.
And they just snagged the closest dude.
Nobody in their right mind wants to be the manager of the Astros right now.
No, not at this moment.
Nobody wants to be in that organization right now.
I bet you they paid him too.
Oh, his contract has got to be pretty hefty.
Let me look that up, actually. It's a 1-year deal with a club option for 2021. I don't think they could have signed him for more than that.
I think they're signing him so they can give themselves more time to find their new manager for the long haul.
Do you think he'll make it for the whole year?
Yeah, I think they'll take the year to find their dude, and then they'll replace him after the season ends.
There's no information on how much the contract was, by the way.
Yeah, they're not going to publish that. I don't think they don't have to.
They don't have to, and they probably shouldn't.
No, I think the other problem Houston's going to have now is trying to find players, young talent to come in and play, or just talent in general to come in. Because now you've got the problem of you just had this really bad stigma around your team of we're cheaters.
Yeah.
No one's going to want to play for you. And don't expect to see Houston trying to make any moves at the trade deadline this year because no one's going to want to deal with them. No one.
No one wants to be a part of that organization.
And nobody wants anybody from that organization either.
No. The Yankees got Cole, but that was before any of this happened.
Well, Cole was a free agent at the end of that year. I think Cole walked because he didn't want to be a part of Houston anymore. Because let's face it, they had cap space to pay him.
Cole has been saying that they didn't cheat.
Yeah, that's true.
Which, to me, I don't like as a Yankees fan.
I don't either. It's not the best thing on earth. But at the same time, I think if you're a Yankees fan, just be happy we got him.
I am.
The dude's wanted to be a Yankee for years. He was drafted. We drafted him originally.
Oh, yeah.
And then he went back to finish his education, which good on him for that. Good for you finishing your education.
No, definitely. More people should do it.
Oh, I agree.
But he's only 29. Last year with a 250 ERA. We're not here to talk about Cole, though. We're here to talk about the Astros. Got to stay on topic.
True.
Let me talk about this simulation real quick so you can get an inside scoop because you can't see.
Yeah, let's hear this.
It's 4-0 Astros at the end of the fourth inning. They have 8 hits. Yankees have 1 hit, no runs.
Sounds like that garbage can's been pretty helpful.
Implemented into the game, San Diego Studios at its finest. Realistic. All right,
can I mention real quick the garbage can that we have?
Yeah, go for it.
So,
you got to get more context for it, though.
So just so everybody is aware, Zach and I, our college is a big hockey school. So when the whole Astros thing happened, I decided to go out and make a trash can with the Astros logo on it and bring it to our hockey games. And I sit there with a drumstick and I will smash the thing at the referees whenever a bad call is made, hinting that, hey, the other team is cheating with you to get bad calls called against us. And every now and then I will do a certain thing and some guy behind us will yell fastball, curveball, or something like that. So it's pretty funny.
And now it's been passed down to me. The trash can.
Oh, yeah.
Next question that I wanted to ask. What should happen to the players? Can the MLB do anything to the players? I think they still can. Even though they have immunity, they can get that annulled. MLB just jumped on the gun to granting the players immunity, but there is something that you can do.
I don't think so.
No, I looked this up.
You're going to have to deal with the Players Association, and that's going to get ugly fast.
Well, the Players Association is tied with Rob Manfred.
Well, the Players Association, one thing that has to be noted is that there's a collective bargaining agreement. So the Players Association is one for all for one. So just because every other player in the league hates the fact that Houston did this and wants all those guys to be penalized, they can't do it because the Players Association has to represent everybody. And yes, there's a massive majority of dudes who hate Houston right now and want those players penalized.
I don't know if it's a mass majority as much as it is pretty much every single player in Major League Baseball.
And all of pro sports in general,
and all
too.
of pro sports in general. And everybody that's a fan of sports.
There's a bad stigma around Houston.
Nothing's been done to the Houston Astros. I have this article that I wanted to pull up. This guy had some good ideas as to what should happen to them. I don't know. There's no way I'm going to be able to find it, but basically, like, make them sell their championship rings and donate all the money to the Players Association. That was one of the solutions.
I like that idea. It's never going to happen.
There's no way
those
that
guys
could
are
ever happen.
never going to sell their rings.
No. You could fine the players the bonus money that they were granted for winning the title.
You could find them all. Again, the problem is they've already been granted immunity, and if the MLB goes and just goes, okay, we got what we wanted, and we just annul everything, you're never going to get cooperation from any players or anybody in that realm ever again on any future issues that might come up with future scandals or problems, because then they can go back and go, well, you gave all the Astros players an immunity way back when, and they weren't going to get in trouble. And then once you got what you wanted, you annulled everything, and now you're penalizing them.
I don't think that's true because something like this hasn't happened. Granted, don't bring up the steroid era because to me that's different.
That's a totally different story. I'm just saying in general, like, what's going to stop a player from going, I'm not even going to cooperate with the MLB or Commissioner Manfred or anybody because the whole Astro scenario, if that were to occur, now just shows the players, yeah, the MLB is going to just tell you they're going to give you immunity and then penalize you anyway, and then now you're going to have a problem with the Players Association. I really don't think so. You're going to create another problem at the same time.
I don't think that creates a problem when everyone wants them to be penalized. I really don't. I think people would be okay with punishment happening despite the immunity being granted.
If I was the commissioner, I would I personally, I would ban them from postseason play for 2 to 3 years.
How can you do that if they have immunity, though? Or
You
ban
could
the
ban the
Astros?
team. Ban the team. You could ban the organization. That doesn't affect the Players Association at all. You could ban the. You could. Yeah, I wouldn't strip the title. I'd leave it. I would leave it, and I would censor the title and put an asterisk on it. Instantaneous. Just like how guys in the Hall of Fame right now, it's like, okay, they were on steroids. Though all those guys on the home run list, Sammy Sosa and all them, they all have asterisks on their names.
Yeah.
Barry Bonds has an asterisk on his name in the home run list. That's a reason why he's never going to get into the Hall of Fame, is because he cheated. He's a steroid user. All those guys on Houston right now, they can kiss the Hall of Fame goodbye. They're going to make it.
Never.
And I think that's a bigger impact going forward. Yes, the players are upset. I'm upset. I wanted to see those guys get punished. In the long run, though, they're going to be forgotten. Whereas players like Judge and Cody Bellinger and all these guys who were affected by this, they're going to be remembered for their greatness on the field, for playing the right way after the fact.
Let's flash back about 30 years ago to Pete Rose, arguably one of the greatest baseball players of all time, the hit leader, not allowed to be in the Hall of Fame because of the whole scandal that he had with, it was betting on games or something like that. Do you know the whole?
I think it was like he was betting on himself or something like that. I don't remember it exactly.
Something to that effect. And he can't get into the Hall of Fame for that. That's the penalty for that, for betting on himself, which had no effect on his play. But he can't go into the Hall of Fame because of it. So tell me why something like that can happen to a player that's as clean as Pete Rose, and something to not happen to these Astros. That, to me, is a fault on the MLB. If nothing's going to happen to these Astro players, Pete Rose, he needs to be in the Hall of Fame next year, in my opinion.
If you're a baseball fan and you're upset about this, and you want to direct your rage at the Astros, don't direct it at the players. Like, if you want to direct anger at people for not being punished, you send all of your hate mail and all of your just upset thoughts, you just dump them all in the MLB and all the commissioner's office, because he's the one that dropped the ball and screwed this all up.
He really did.
Now,
he dropped it way too soon.
Now, yes, they probably would never have found out as quick as they did about the cheating scandal, but at the same time, if you wait a little bit, maybe you can get a couple guys to crack.
I feel like that was definitely a fault on him for giving the players immunity. You know, because now they don't have to say anything. They don't have to.
They can just keep quiet now.
They can just leave it. They're never going to be penalized.
But I think their lasting legacy is going to become a greater punishment in the end game.
Absolutely.
Because guys like Jose Altuve and Bregman and Correa, you're going to look back at them and you're going to go, "What a scumbag for doing what you did."
It's demoralizing.
You're not going to be remembered for your MVP. You're going to be remembered for being a scumbag. That's what it is.
You're going to be remembered for being on the 2017 Astros.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately.
And that's legit how the cookie crumbles right now.
Absolutely.
For the Houston Astros. What do you think is going to happen to those players over the course of this year?
I would say there's probably going to be at least 100 hit by pitches.
Or more.
I would say at least more than 100. I know that there's some betting pool that's at like 83 and a third. Now it's going to be closer to 100, probably more than that, because there are some pissed off guys right now. They're going to want to take their anger out. I'd expect to see guys getting. There's going to be some guys getting spiked. There's going to be dudes that like, "Oops, I threw a ball towards first base and hit you in the arm with it," or when I'm trying to throw it there. You're going to see some of that.
Definitely going to see some of that.
I think you're also going to see a lot of fan outcry, especially in New York, because we both know the bleacher creatures in New York, they get nasty fast.
They're brutal.
And it's going to get gross at that game.
That's definitely something that I would love to be a part of if possible. Did Gardner just score the first run? Solo shot. Brett Gardner.
Good old Brett Gardner.
Good old Brett Gardner. Gardy goes Yardy. But what do you think's gonna happen with the Astros as like in terms of like their record and their success for 2020? Do you think that because they aren't allowed to cheat, it's gonna affect how they play the game, or do you think they're gonna rally off of that? And because they're pissed right now.
I think they're going to start off the season angry. I think they're. I would give them a strong-ish start. I think they'll start off all right. But I think once they get to some away series and even some home series too, that hostility from those opposing teams and those opposing fan bases, you can't just ignore it. Like, I know those guys are like, oh, I just go up to the plate and I go hit and I drone it out. No, you don't. You hear everything. We all know it.
Oh yeah.
It's going to affect you in some way. There's going to be times, probably a lot more this year than years past, where there's going to be people that get in your head quick.
You think that these players are going to get torn down over the course of the season?
I think they're torn down now and they're trying to build themselves back up. I think
it's just not going to fly. It's spring training
fields.
Fly.
Oh my God! It's already brutal there.
Oh yeah.
There was already guys who were running around kicking trash cans at batting practice and running away so they couldn't get thrown out.
I know. That's wild to me. That's something I would love to do. I would love to do that.
I mean, the Astros at Yankees tickets are on sale. You and I could go buy some and travel to New York.
We should for the podcast.
I like to do a live show, just
do a live
recording during the game.
Yeah, we definitely could. We got to sit in the judges' chambers though.
I would love that. I would love that.
I ain't putting down that robe.
The robe and the wig and the foam hammers.
I can't imagine what it's like when it's like 90 degrees out.
Oh, good. You probably bake down there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Let me see here. How many wins do you project the Astros to get this season? Overall?
Less than 90.
Less than 90?
I'd put them in like the low to mid 80s.
Let's see.
I think they'll still do all right. I just think it's going to be rough. I don't think they're going to finish top in their division this year.
I got to see what I projected. I projected 90 and 72.
I would go lower than that. I'd put them in the 80s, maybe even high 70s if it's rough.
That's a big jump. I feel like 90 is appropriate. 'Cause, I mean, but it's such a tough situation because you really don't know where the talent lies on the Astros anymore. That's the other thing.
That's my thing.
You have no clue who is Correa and Springer now. Because they were nobodies before Houston. They really were.
Because now the thing with these guys is they actually start playing baseball. It's not fastball, curveball. Yeah. There's no more of that. It's gone.
No.
So now that that's been totally eliminated, you got to deal with the fact that these guys got to actually show up and play now.
No, absolutely.
So I think that's probably a tougher one to gauge.
I definitely agree with that. I think Correa specifically, I've never been the largest fan of Correa. I never thought that he was that great.
Neither have I.
Same thing goes with Springer, though. Springer might be even worse, in my opinion. Springer